Welcome to the OP Noobs All Members official podcast, discussing all good things PC gaming. Four, three, two, one, we're live.
Hey everyone, this is OP Noobs All Members official podcast, episode number 5. We've gone pretty far in the last few weeks, and we're back today again. It's January 13th. It's a Tuesday, and this podcast is sponsored by the opnoobs.com website, where the PC community, everything, content, article, everything that's created is made by you PC gamers out there in the community. And so we're back here. Got a lot of discussion to go around. We tend to talk a lot about the recent PC update news and that's going on in the gaming world, and we're glad to have you all coming in and joining with us today. So just a kind of a quick introduction, we're gonna go say hello to everyone. My name is Micheal, also known as Lonely Asian. We have Noor here, we have Josh, we have Danny, we have Justin, and we have John sitting in with us today. So pretty much, how's everyone been so far? There's a lot of stuff going on this week. Any fun games you've been into recently, Justin?
I actually got a wild hair and started modding the crap out of Oblivion again and playing through that. I don't know. I just had an inkling that I wanted to play it again, and man, it's awesome once you update the living hell out of it.
Ooh, I know that.
I liked Oblivion.
Yeah, is that like a couple hours for you? I know my brother, when he mods, it takes him a whole day at least to go through it.
Yeah, it didn't take as long as it had before, just because Oblivion has a really mature mod set now. So it's just kind of, go to Nexus and grab the top 20 and install them and start playing it. It's amazing how good that game looks now. You can just max everything out completely and install the nastiest ENB, and it runs like butter. It's amazing. I'm getting like 300 frames a second.
Oh wow, that's pretty amazing. What about yourself, John?
It still looks almost as good as Skyrim modded out.
Cool. And then what about yourself, John?
Actually, I've been really into Hearthstone lately. That game has eaten my life. So, and I didn't want to download it for the longest time because I thought it looked horrible, and it turns out it's amazing.
Are you a fan of like Magic the Gathering? Is that what kind of turned you towards Hearthstone again?
Yeah, I played Magic a lot back in the day. Haven't played lately. I've got a few friends that do Magic competitively, so they definitely turned me on to Hearthstone as well, because it's essentially the same thing.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And what about yourself, Noor?
I just been playing games all day, every day. Dota 2, still on the Dota 2 grind. And then at least other than Dota, I've actually also been going back into modding, at least for Skyrim. I just reinstalled Skyrim. Now I got to start modding it again, and it's gonna take forever. It's just gonna be a mess. So that's my full-time job, at least as of now. And then just Dota anytime I'm playing games.
And
Cool.
Dota is pretty hot right now, isn't it? Like on the esports scene.
Yeah, and at least it was the TI, the International 4, the tournament, the biggest tournament for Dota last year. The TI 4 International 4 for 2014 was the biggest prize pool in esports history. So that's where it's going. So
How much was it? Do you know the numbers?
Yeah, the prize pool itself, the whole prize pool was around $10 million, and
Jeez.
then and then
Jesus.
the
Practice, Noor.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying. I'm going all the way.
We need the financing.
TI7, here I come. And then the number one prize, the number one prize for the winning team was I think 5.5 million or something like that.
Wow. Yeah, I think second place also got 1 million. So you at least top 3.
Yeah,
You're making big bucks.
Yeah,
And,
it was big prizes.
Nice. And how you doing, Danny? Any fun games been out, some releases since the New Year's as well?
Yeah, I've been doing pretty well. I ended up picking up the first episode of Tales of the Borderlands from Telltale and ran through that pretty quick. It was really fun. I enjoyed the hell out of it.
Oh, that's I heard about that. Which game was that? That's the one where they essentially took the Borderlands universe and made it like what they did with The Walking Dead, right?
Yeah, exactly. They take like the existing IP and they kind of write lore stories and a little player experience from a different perspective. And obviously, it's not a first-person shooter RPG at this point. It's kind of more of like
It's a Telltale game.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like a
Same
point-and-click adventure kind of thing.
Right, choose your own destination type thing.
Oh, so how does that feel, like coming from a shooting with Borderlands is just crazy to now actually a story and you make your choices? Does it feel like it's appropriate, or they did a good job executing that?
They did a great job executing it. I mean, they nailed it 100%.
Oh, whoa. What? Yikes. Uh-oh. Pausing. Ooh, we're having technical difficulties, everyone. Please calm down on Twitch, and we'll make it happen. Oops. Alright, everyone, we're just tuning in. We had a little bit technical difficulties, but that's going to be a little bit fun here. Let's see.
Whoa, what the heck happened?
Wow, that was weird. We had a little bit of technical issues.
Yep.
Oh, everybody got booted?
Stuttered.
Everyone.
Everybody.
Oh, that's awesome.
man.
That's awesome.
Oh wow,
Happy New
I thought
Year.
that was me.
I thought
Happy
that was
New
me.
Mumble just stuttered.
Happy New
was
Year.
going
Happy
so
New Year,
well.
guys.
Oh,
Here,
that
have a
was
heart
great.
attack.
Yeah, man, that stopped us in a second. Like, oh, snap, our show. But hey, you know what? That's how we roll. We just keep moving forward. And how you doing, Josh, this week?
Not bad. I've been playing a lot of World of Warcraft and working on my paladin. Actually, a lot of it I've just been sitting in my garrison. I really like the music for it. I mean, it's gonna sound kind of stupid that I'm referencing, one of our earlier episodes, but once you realize how that music was created and the inspiration behind it, it just becomes so much more moving. And I'm sure to tell my guild that new members of the guild, whenever they comment on the music, I'm just like, how it got that, and it's so cool to see their reaction to it. And anyway, there's been a lot of that. Been playing a lot of Ocarina of Time. Finally got
Nice.
finally got through that.
Did I inspire that, Josh?
That's awesome.
Did somebody say Ocarina of Time?
Ocarina.
Somebody said
Ocarina.
Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, I keep mispronouncing that. That's been 12 years and I keep mispronouncing that.
And I love the fact that Josh said, I finally got to Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
Yeah, is this like your first playthrough?
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, wow.
like,
Man.
I've played a lot of Legend of Zeldas, but I never played Ocarina of Time.
You're
Took
a
me
bad
20
dog.
years.
Admit, I'm
I
in
got
the
done,
same
I got
boat,
done, and
actually.
I facepalmed myself because I'm just like, why didn't I do this earlier?
It's absolutely the best one right there.
That was
Yeah.
my childhood.
I don't know. I
That's
played through
everything.
The first one probably at least every other year, like completely play through from start to finish. But I've never actually played Ocarina of Time.
Really? Whoa.
Are you
How's
really
that?
serious? Oh, it was everything.
That
it was
particular
everything.
system just wasn't, like, it wasn't one of the systems that I owned, and
That's
It was
right.
on
you know,
Nintendo.
just-
It was on
wasn't the right
Nintendo
timing for me.
64, right?
Yeah, the N64 had the most god awful controller of any
Yes.
system ever.
Yeah, but
Oh my
So-
god, yes.
And
So
I was
you missed.
already long on PC by then, so.
So you missed the whole GoldenEye episode.
I played
GoldenEye.
GoldenEye with friends, but they didn't want to play with me for very long because I was already like long past Wolfenstein 3D and Doom 2. By the
Yeah,
time
yeah. Well, I was
and I could see their
multitasking.
screen.
I was multitasking. I was doing Doom and GoldenEye.
Yeah,
I
same.
think.
It's too good.
Well, I mean, when you
GoldenEye
play,
was
like,
great.
Multiplayer Quake, and then you get on a super slow system where you can see the other three guys.
Oh, I'm with
screens,
you.
They don't really stand a chance.
Oh,
Yeah.
the 32-year-old in me is with you. Absolutely.
Well, here's
Oh,
the thing,
hey,
though. GoldenEye's the only game I've ever played that's resulted in bloodshed.
like legit
over
blood?
legit blood. Yeah.
What?
Oh yeah. No, like controllers getting thrown at the back of your buddy's head.
Oh, yeah, I would make my
Those sorts
brother
of things.
rage.
Someone was playing Mad Hatter, wasn't they?
I've never had that. The only fight I've ever had on the 64 was my hand and the controller when it comes to Mario Party. My hand loses every
Oh,
time.
man.
Yes. and did you guys have your late nights on Mario Golf?
Yeah, I love that.
It was epic.
That was awesome.
It was epic.
Yeah, see, I think I'm one system behind most of you guys. Where like my my big, years were on the Super Nintendo, not the N64.
Ooh.
So it was, Star Fox and Battletoads and that kind of stuff for me.
Battletoads is such a painful game. God.
Oh my god, yeah.
Hey, you can't forget Smash Brothers though. That's like the best game on N64.
Yeah.
Yeah, to
I
this date.
seriously have maybe 20 hours of playtime on an N64 outside of GoldenEye.
Oh, wow.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
That was my one time. Actually, come to think of it, that was my one time with Nintendo, the 64. Because before that, I was always more Sega oriented. When PlayStation came out, and that was the end of my love affair with
I was at the
Nintendo.
Fringe console. I was that kid that had the TurboGrafx 16 and the Neo Geo.
Oh, okay, I follow you.
Those are some really classic consoles there. And just to introduce some of the more topics, we're going to actually move forward to our segment where we talk about news, what's going on in the PC gaming world. The first real quick announcement is that if you're a fan of Dota 2 and you were a little bit upset with the TI4 and how that turned out, TI5 has been finally announced. The date is going to actually be running from, August 3rd through all the way to August 8th, which is actually pretty unique. It used to be 4 days, and now it's actually expanded to a whole 6 day of competition. And hopefully the teams that will be coming on will be shown after the May 1st. So we'll see how that goes, and as well as their prize pool, which last year they hit about 10 million, and now
10 million.
Yeah, so we're gonna see what they're gonna do this year and how much they're gonna just fund, because if you think about it, 5 million for first place, each player got like $1 million chunk each, and we're instant millionaires for playing a game like Dota 2 without any leagues or anything like that.
Yeah,
members of an org that's going to take a bunch of that money.
I mean, I don't know too much about the whole money transaction with the tournaments, but I do believe that it's taxed, and then I think maybe there might be some sponsor thing going on behind the doors or something like that. But for the most part,
if they play for an org, they get paid, and then the org pays them usually.
Yeah, exactly. Because I think they get that from the tournament, and then they already do get money from their sponsors, anyways. So I think that's how it works. At least I don't know. But either way, they're making the prize pool's too big, anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
They're getting paid to play video games.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's everyone's dream here. Talking about even more about video games, what's actually coming up in March 4th is actually the Game Developers Game of the Year Choice Awards, and so pretty much what that is actually it's all based on the beers of everybody in the gaming world and developers. All games are open, and it's for the year of 2014 calendar year. And there's quite a few nice nominations. They just finally released them, and we're going to kind of go through each section, just throw off the nominations, and maybe see which, we're going to be playing on the tracks here and see which horse we're going to bet on and which game we're going to think is going to win that nomination. So the first one is obviously the Game of the Year. And their nominations was kind of interesting from each developer was Bayonetta 2, we have Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor, Destiny, Hearthstone Heroes of Warcraft, and Alien Isolation. So compared to all the Game of the Years that came out for PC games for different genres, this one's including all platforms. My bet personally is Middle-earth Shadows of Mordor, since I've played that. I love the cinematography, the hack and slash, and that's kind of my bet as hopefully as a whole developer see, because that's pretty quite advanced on what they've done, and it's just kind of crazy. But just gonna open this up to the room and see, what are you betting on for Game of the Year in the sense of game developer standards?
I could say I'm betting on not having Destiny win it, because Bungie definitely pulled a fast one with Destiny, and I'm really disappointed with the game. But my bet for the year is definitely Bayonetta 2, just because it's a beautiful looking game.
Yeah, I'd have to say it's probably either Bayonetta or Shadows of Mordor, just because they're both pretty unique as far as games go.
Well, actually, Shadows of Mordor, it actually reminds me of a game that I think I have back on my shelf. I won't bother trying to dig it out, but it came out in 2005. It was based off of the movie Return of the King, where you got to play as one of the members of the Fellowship, depending on the mission, until you beat the game, and then you could play as anyone, any mission.
Yeah,
and
Fellowship of the Ring is the game, right?
Yeah, or no,
I have it.
It was Return of the King. I got a demo for it free with a box of corn pops when I was 5. But I mean,
It's like Unreal Engine, like way back when.
Ooh.
It's RPG, like third-person perspective, but I think it's Unreal Engine, isn't it?
I think it is an RPG, like it is third person perspective. I wouldn't call it an RPG, but it was a lot of that, hack and slash, maybe push over a barrel that magically had explosives in it, So I don't think Shadows of Mordor is really unique as it is, hasn't been touched in a while.
All right.
Well, Shadows of Mordor is completely unique, and what's unique about it is the Nemesis system, and I think you're going to see that in a lot of games. That Nemesis system blew my mind, and I can't believe it.
What is
Shadows
the Nemesis
of Mordor just came
system?
out. Well, the Nemesis system essentially you have a group of orcs and warlords, and you fight these people, and if you lose or if you hurt them in a certain way, they remember. And like you'll shoot fire next to a guy, and you'll go to fight him again, and his face will be all burned up and wrapped up, and then he'll actually like say something about it, like this happened last time, but I'm going to kill you this time. And it's actually it's really cool. It's really cool.
It really adds a whole new dynamic layer to playing through the game. It adds.
What happens if you always go for the same guy?
Yeah, he can get stronger. Yeah. So then,
awesome.
So if you're not betting on the Shadows of Mordor, what's your best bet for the game of the year? Then, what you think?
I've got to go with Hearthstone, simply because free to play. It is the only one on the list that is free to play.
Not so free.
Pay to win.
A little bit.
I've learned that.
I think
I don't want to throw controversy into the lot, but I wouldn't call that game free to play as much as as much as I respect your decision to nominate
free to
it.
install.
It's free to install, yes.
Yeah.
I just think Hearthstone is going to do a lot as far as bringing people into the card strategy game that weren't there before. Like a lot of people got started, they had a huge Magic the Gathering background or strategy background. And now it's just transitioning in a bunch of new people into that genre.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty exciting.
Sorry. Yeah, I think after seeing the gameplay footage of it, I think Shadow of Mordor has like a shoe-in at this point. But personally, I'd really like to see Alien Isolations win, just because.
To me, that's a super
stuff. I'm not.
It's an interesting game because a PC game, you look at the review from PC Gamer, you look at the review from IGN, and they're basically opposites attract. One of them thought it was the best game of the year, and that's PC Gamer, and the other guys IGN said it's an average game at best.
No, I think it looked really good. I watched a lot of Let's Plays on it, and I think that game in particular would be one that would really excel on like the Oculus. It would be terrifying, and I mean it was scary just watching it.
I just got started playing it actually because I took advantage of the Steam sale to get it, and I just got into maybe the first 45 minutes of the game, and I can tell like late at night when I had a couple too many. Yeah, let's do this. I love scary games. Like I think games are a perfect vehicle for scary stuff. Because you truly are the guy walking in that aisle.
Yeah, the interaction, that's what makes it.
I think if you review that game at your desk in an office with fluorescent lights, it might be an average game.
Yeah.
But, if you played it at home, especially maybe if you got your computer hooked up to the TV and you got the lights out, it's a whole nother game.
With the headset on? Oh.
Yeah, with a really good headset on. Because that's what PC does so well, is when you get the gear for it, then the experience is just 10 times as powerful.
Yep. A 5.1 headset, an Oculus Rift, and that game will have you crapping your pants.
Oh my gosh,
Well,
I couldn't sleep for nights.
Speaking of gear for a game, I saw this game coming out. It was like a year ago, and it required a heartbeat sensor because the game changed.
That's too much.
The game changed depending on your heartbeat. And I remember watching this, and at the time I was going through mobile app and video game design. I was watching this, and I was like, gaping, just going, how?
Wow.
Yeah, there's the PT demo for the PS4. That one,
that game
the controller,
scared the crap out of me.
The controller actually has, since the PS4's controller has like some kind of audio feedback it can take in. if it detects that you scream like a lot, and the more frequent you scream, the louder you scream, the more creepier stuff happens in the game. that's at least what someone told me.
What a troll!
For the N64 when they came out with the microphone for that too, where you had the louder you screamed at it, the more power the guy had in his special attack.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
really?
No, the only time I used the 64 mic was for the Pikachu game. Where
that's the one I know. That's all I know.
Like, N64 remembers this?
Yeah.
Oh my god, hey you Pikachu. I
Hey you
remember
Pikachu.
that
I'm
game.
like, I'll pick up an apple. Pick up the apple. Damn it.
I loved this guy.
Guys, have you seen this shit?
The Fusro DOS with the voice and all that. You could
Yeah.
do all the dragon shouts with your voice.
Oh man,
That would be awesome.
Oh
I
yeah,
think
that's
there's a
it's
mod
great
where you
mod.
can do that in
It's a great
Skyrim.
mod. You never have to look at that menu again. Just remember the name of whatever shout you want to use. And
I
I'm
think
that
that's what
lazy.
you're
I
referring
would
to.
use that
Yeah.
completely, like every day.
Yeah, I would just throw out some Scandinavian gibberish and hope you get it down.
I know, right? Dude, after this, please send me the link to that. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, hopefully
it's,
you can
it's
run
right
it.
on Skyrim Nexus. Actually, I think it's even in the Steam Workshop, but I would not advise installing Skyrim mods that way.
Yeah, Nexus
Yeah,
Mod
none of
Manager is the way to go.
Yeah, none of the Steam add-ons for Skyrim seem to be working very well for me, especially if you want to
If you just use
swap
one
out
at
something.
a time, they work okay sometimes.
Yeah,
See,
but
I've layered about 70 off of the Steam Workshop, and I run Nexus as well. And
Well,
I
the
never had any
Nexus is
problems.
fixing your load order for you.
Yeah,
that's
they-
the problem with the Steam Workshop is it has no idea about load order.
Right,
So
right.
you
So
have
I
to
don't know if
install
it's
them in
doing
the
that.
right order or your hose.
Yeah,
Right.
Skyrim itself is a long talk. Just to kind of keep moving forward with like the other choices, I know Skyrim is a big talk. It's easy to talk to. It's been around for years. It's still going to keep on running because it's a modded game that never dies out. But there's also
Like I said, I'm on Oblivion again.
yeah,
you can
that's
take pretty
great.
much any Elder Scrolls game and talk about it and be like there for hours just talking about it and the mods you can get for it.
Yeah, we might dedicate a show just to that if we really want to get into it. It's pretty cool. But to move forward, like they also have the Innovation Award. They also talked about the best debut on launch for games. They also have a best design. One interesting one is about best handheld / mobile games, where they just combined the two, which is kind of unique. Best visual art. If you're a fan of that, they have a few titles. The only one I know is Child Light, but also Bayonetta 2 and Alien Isolation, which were some games that were also got nominated for Game of the Year. As well as best narrative for simply a great storyline and just simply something you can follow to really in deeply. And then there's best audio. And we also have best technology in putting into a game, so it's pretty exciting to see what they have nominated. We have a lot of bets on different games, and we can't wait to see what's coming out on March 4th for the Game Developer Choice Awards, especially when these are the developers, these are the guys who make the games behind the scene, and these are the games that they're choosing, even though the public of us is like, oh, these are our topics. To see it from their mindset is pretty interesting. But to also kind of keep going forward here is another game launch, as well as what we're looking into for the first quarter of 2015 is a huge game we've been waiting for a long time, and it's actually GTA 5, and we finally have some definitive news as of today.
Yeah, so GTA 5, at least the story that came up as of last week was that GTA 5 was supposed to come out January 27th, I believe, on a Tuesday, like most games come out on Tuesday. So that was the plan, but then there was some people were saying that, I don't know, because Steam says it's early 2015. They didn't get an exact date on Steam. And then also Rockstar made a comment saying that as of now it's January 27th. So then people were like, okay, this is weird. And then just recently, Rockstar actually announced that they delayed GTA 5 for the PC. So that's really unfortunate. Yeah, like no.
We're just
wipe all my desk, just throw everything around.
I love
Rage
the
quit.
Game too. It's just
Flip all the
tweaking
coffee
and
tables.
testing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just classic Rockstar. They
Same
want
reason they gave last time.
Yeah. When they delayed GTA 5 for the first time, for the first release of GTA 5, they delayed it from May 2013, I believe, as if I remember correctly when it came out. May 2013 to the end of 2013. And so yeah, it got delayed to March 24th, I believe is the date. Let me just check
that's the right
before. Yeah, March 24th
It was supposed to launch November 18th with Xbox One and PS4.
Yeah.
They pushed it
Don't you
back
think
to the 27th, and then
Yeah.
they pushed it back again.
Yeah, so then so they knocked it back to March 24th, and then at least for the PC, the two main attractions to the PC version, because the PS4 has a first-person mode, the two main attractions is that it'll have a native 4K support, and also you can there's kind of like a video editor. You can make like cool scenes and stuff in the game. So even though it does get knocked back, they're working on that. And then they also released the system requirements for GTA 5. So that's the story on that.
Yeah, those hefty system requirements.
Yeah. I'm not surprised. I'm like, oh, okay.
I'm kind of surprised, actually. Like, the video card makes sense, but the processor requirements are kind of more than the last generation consoles.
Yeah, the processor, that kind of questioned me, but I guess hopefully it'll be okay. At least I'm hoping.
Gigs of hard drive space.
Yeah.
It's a huge game, but also interesting is that it's delayed, and there's actually a huge uproar already, like right off the bat again with no delay. They're trying to do this for a port, fixing bugs. I mean,
they
Rockstar
want us to pay $60 for this thing.
Yeah, so I mean, what do you guys think about like the overall feel of people, like if a company says that they're going to release a game and delay it, or versus they're trying to rush it and do an early access or an early launch, or just try to beat the deadline, release whatever they have, because people are right now upset with that. And what do you guys' opinion, like as a company, as Rockstar, as big as they are, and the fact that we're PC gamers, they're very afraid of us because we have a high demand, we love our options, we love everything. What do you think about this move, or are you upset personally? Did you want to get your money back for the game? Are you going to pirate the game as everyone's complaining about, or are you just going to do something different and just play one of the games you have yet to touch on your Steam?
At least
Half-Life 3.
At least for
Half-Life
me, I'm not too upset personally because I already played it on the Xbox 360, and now I'm just kind of getting like a souped up version for the PC. And then also on top of that, I'm also not disappointed because it's Rockstar, and for me, Rockstar, it's like they know what they're doing. They're one of the companies that if they delay a game, I know that they're doing it for a good reason. And the quality for all of their games have been top notch, and then except for GTA 4 for me personally, but other than that, other than that, no, I'm not. I mean, they delayed it, but I'm like, they know what they're doing. I'm not one of those uproar kind of like pitchfork. I'm gonna do something about it kind of guy.
As long as the game comes with like DLC and there's plenty of modding out there, I'm not gonna have any issues with it. As far as paying $60 for it. I might wait till it goes on sale because it's like been in development for too long and it's been delayed many times. So I might just wait for a sale when I pick it up.
Yeah. Here's the thing: is that I'm upset because I wanted to play it, but there's one game I think that just really makes me feel good about Rockstar pushing it back, and that's I didn't want to end up with a Grand Theft Auto Assassin's Creed Unity deal. So we should applaud Rockstar for pushing it back because it may have really upset some people, but at least we're not going to end up with a Unity product.
Yeah, exactly.
After how terrible GTA 4 ran on PC at launch, I'm more than willing to wait a little longer.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm bummed about is that it's going to take this much longer for the modding community to get a hold of it to actually make the game I'm going to end up playing. Because I haven't really enjoyed stock Grand Theft Auto since San Andreas. It's one of those games that you just kind of got to wait for the mods to come out and stop all the terrible pop-up and brick-shaped cars and all that stuff.
Yeah, and I guess it also has to do with what do you do in the meantime? Because if you were planning like nothing but and at January, I'm gonna do GTA, all responsibilities out the window. Yeah, exactly. Like if that's what you're doing, I can see how people get mad. But I mean, like for me, I'm like, I'm just gonna play Dota. Like,
I mean, if they are,
I'm good. I'm fine.
If they are planning that far ahead, just playing, just playing GTA 5, I think that they need to do something else with their life anyway. So either way, Rockstar is doing what they need to.
No way, man. I've definitely scheduled time off for games before.
I would say they can do that because I'll do that for Dota. I put too much time into Dota. So I mean, I totally understand that they're gonna. Yeah, I totally understand that they're gonna marathon GTA and they're all excited for it and making vacation time for it. But
well, I mean, $10 million. It's hard not to spend time in Dota.
Yeah, yeah.
There's guys out there that do
deep
let's
game.
play videos that are, very amped to get GTA 5 going because they're going to make a lot of YouTube dollars.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't fault anybody for trying to schedule their life around a monster blockbuster release like that if that's their thing.
And
Yeah,
this
I
can
don't either.
potentially push consumers. Like, I own a PlayStation 4. Like, if I really want to play Grand Theft Auto, it's right there on my PS4. I can go get it instead of having to wait for the PC version. So it could push away consumers
That's
as
where you
well.
and I differ in a big way.
Yeah, but do you
There's
also
no way I'm playing GTA without a mouse to aim the gun with.
I kind of,
Yeah,
I kind of agree with what you're saying about fatigue. Just you start to feel the fatigue and the excitement fades away about the game, and when it comes out, it just doesn't even feel that exciting to you anymore. I kind of see what you mean by that. I don't know why. Why do you think they don't push the PC version at the same time that they release them on consoles? Because it's surprising. I don't know if it's surprising, but at least it doesn't help the PC
We always
crowd.
end up with the better game though, so I'm okay with it.
Yeah, that too, and
It's just like
Rockstar.
when Halo
That's true.
was doing the whole separate PC release thing, and Halo 2 came out as Halo 3 released on Xbox, and it looked better.
Yeah,
Well-
and Rockstar has always had they're a console oriented company, at least in their past history. Most of their games they come out on the console first, like that's what they've been doing.
Yeah, their main
with
focus
GTA.
is based around the console,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
they're just
exactly.
porting it to the PC.
Yeah, for them, it's not like Valve. Valve's their number one's PC, and then the consoles. If they can do that, they'll do that.
And you're not,
but it's the opposite for Rockstar.
and you're not surprised that they delayed it 2 weeks before launch, because the 27th of January is 2 weeks away.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know about that. I would if they were going to delay it, they should have done it earlier.
Thing at the same time, and that's being launched on all of the different platforms at the same time. So I think
Because I'm thinking
they're-
2 weeks
they're
away,
struggling
you're
getting all the heist with the 30-player servers working
But-
with all the consoles and with the PC at the same time to do a simultaneous launch. Because I think
Okay.
they're afraid to release a non-feature full PC version at this point, which they damn better have a feature full PC version at this point when they do release.
Well, and I mean, you also got to think. I mean, Walmart can only take so many bodies that smell like stale Cheetos at once.
yeah, but you're basically
I
saying
think
it's
that's a challenge Walmart would love to accept.
yes.
But you're saying the problems most likely lie in the multiplayer aspect of the game.
Yeah, I think it's GTA Online that's the problem. I mean, if they haven't gotten the single-player campaign working
Yeah,
properly
'cause
on
there's-
PC yet,
yeah,
then
yeah.
we should just not buy the game.
Yeah.
When it came out on the consoles, I remember when it first came out, it was, and I'm not talking about when it came out on the consoles the second time for the new revamped GTA 5. The first time, when the
September
online,
2013 release.
yeah, when the online, when it went live, it was. I heard, at least I didn't play it online, but I heard it was rough. I heard it had a hard start, and
Full of exploits, like
Yeah.
all those people that had millions of dollars on day one.
yeah, exactly. So that's why they're a GTA Online, GTA 5 Online is like a whole different like development team that has to work on that. It's
So which one do you play? You play the campaign or you play the multiplayer?
I play single, yeah, both. But I mean, at least if I'm buying a GTA game, it's for the single player. That's what GTA is, at least to me.
And you too, Justin?
Yeah, absolutely. GTA 4's multiplayer was just terrible.
Oh,
Still
Yeah,
is.
right.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't like GTA 4 in general, like single player or anything, but that's a different story.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I've had the GTA 5 from the PS4 because my little brother got for Christmas, so I jumped on it a little bit from time to time. But as a company, though, like, since there are consoles, so much console at first, that they're shifting towards PC, like, overall companies are giving us PC gamers more thought in the fact that they maybe should release games at the same time. I mean, are you think...
Yeah, I don't know that Rockstar is that console-centric. They've pretty much always been pretty even-handed with their game launches. I mean,
Yeah.
Well,
every
and I
title
mean,
they've had has come out on PC, whereas like games like Manhunt didn't come out on consoles.
Yeah.
You know, and didn't come out in a lot of countries either. But I mean, they've always had PC releases of just about every title they've ever done.
Yeah, but wouldn't it be after their console release? It wouldn't be at the same
Well,
time, right? Yeah,
I mean,
at least I think.
Originally, I mean, with the original GTA's, those were PC first.
Yeah, no,
The
I know
top-down
that. Yeah,
GTAs, and,
yeah, except for
Yeah,
2 was on
right.
the PS.
PC first
Yeah.
by a long shot. That didn't
Yeah.
hit PlayStation until way after.
I think GTA 2 was when it first hit the console. It was on PS1. Was GTA 2, and then
Yeah,
once
that was
they
the
hit,
last top-down one.
Yeah.
The sprites.
yeah, and then once they hit 3 in Vice City San Andreas, it was like mainly, at least from what I've known back then, it was the console. Like that's like
Vice City was
mainly people.
I think I'm almost positive that was PC first, but San Andreas was definitely PlayStation first.
Yeah.
And as
The
far
controls
as
definitely showed that.
as far as releasing console first and PC second, releasing console first, more bro gamers, the ones who are going to be playing your GTA 5s, your CODs, those are mostly on Xbox, and so they would release them first. And we were just talking about this in advertising and promotions, the product life cycle. And so GTA 5 on the console, I think Danny, or no, not Danny,
John.
John, thank you. The online was bad from what I've been hearing, and I don't hear many people talking about the single player anymore, and so it's starting to go down a little bit. And now they have the computer version of it to carry it on,
I think
continuing
a lot of
the
it is
product
that
life
publishers
cycle.
think that if they release the PC version, it's just going to get pirated.
I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that there's a much bigger pool of gamers who are ready to buy your game on consoles than there are on PC. They're looking at the market trend, and they're trying to produce the best game out there. Consoles they're going to sell millions and millions.
That's actually true with a game like GTA, though, because GTA, like San Andreas, outsold on PC all the consoles combined.
Really?
Oh wow, did not even know that.
Yeah, that's what I was getting to. Yeah, I didn't know that.
I mean, depending on the genre, PC can easily smack down console sales when you hit the right game. It's just, console has so many games that are just, launched out and sold for $10 that they make up for it in numbers with casual. PC casual gamers don't pay for their games, so those don't get counted as sales. Farmville don't cost money.
You think it's more of a move that they're actually being thoughtful of PC gamers versus it's a financial, it's their own plan to help kind of help themselves out with either the life cycle of the product, or it is the fact that they're actually really thinking about us.
A lot of it is you get another bump releasing PC after the fact. But I think with most developers, they think if they launch PC first, that it's just going to get pirated and cannibalize their console sales.
I agree with Justin.
Totally bullshit.
Because, well, I mean, if they release it on PC, you can get it for free. That's just...
Yeah, but the guys who go and pirate games on PC probably aren't going to buy your crappy console game anyway.
Right,
They're
right.
not console gamers.
Well,
Exactly.
actually, there was research.
Console sales.
There was
console
research
gamers
done
don't
on
go
this.
pirate games on PC.
Right.
There was research done on this. Actually, most people who pirate games will end up buying the game if they like it. They will end up buying it later. Pirates use pirating as sort of a demo when they can't find a decent demo out there.
Yeah. The last time you saw a decent demo for a game.
And even if you do get a demo for a game, it's like you can get a demo for GTA 5, and then you're playing, like, let's say the demo's like 2 hours, and when the game itself is way longer than that, you can't really. Demos are not like they used to be. Like, you can get a feel of a game from a demo on older games. But now it's like games are, I think, a lot more complicated.
The only one I can think of recently is Minecraft that had a decent demo.
Yeah.
Mountain Blade had a really good demo. Mountain Blade, you could go to level.
I will check it out because I kind of want to try out Mountain Blade.
It's pretty cool. You can play the entire game, do whatever you want, but you can only go to level 20. Which that'll take you like a week.
Mountain Blade costs money. I'm like, well, but Pirates, Vikings, and Knights is free.
Mountain Blade is nice, and it has a huge modding community as well. So you can download like a Mountain Blade mod that'll turn the world into Westeros and do like a Game of Thrones thing, which is pretty sweet. Which
and you
comes
can ride a chicken.
That's awesome.
You can ride a chicken. Enough said.
That's a lot of mods. Which is also kind of wrap up this is like so essentially you think developers for consoles are more afraid of PC gamers because the fact that PC gamers have more of the ability to pirate the game, have it out beforehand, so that's why we PC gamers sort of get like a backlog of what they're going to release to us.
and will hurt you a lot more if you release a bad game.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think piracy would be
PC
such a
gamers
big
use
issue if
forums
they
and
had
talk
good
to each other.
demos.
I just want to say there is piracy on. I mean, I don't know about the current consoles, but on PS3 and Xbox 360, there was way to pirate games on there.
Oh yeah.
There's like
Yeah.
you can't pirate a game on any kind of
super
console.
easy, though. Like, I mean, you got to have a hacked console, and you're risking having your ID banned from Xbox Live or PSN. I mean, the fraction of console gamers that pirate their games compared to PC gamers is probably like negligible.
Yeah, because it's
Yeah.
way easier on the PC than it is on consoles.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's a pretty neat wrap. So pretty much us PC gamers are getting the shorthand because developers are afraid of piracy, and them pirates are really taking the fun out of us here. But
Yar hard diggity.
yeah, so talk about other things actually being removed. Actually, recent news about EB Games removing all copies of, if you're a fan of Elder Scrolls series, the Elder Scrolls Online. They're moving the retail copies off of there, and we're not sure what they're doing with that, and see where that's going to be leading to.
Oh no, I can't buy an
actually-
MMO at a brick and mortar store.
Actually, there was an update. It was actually just part of, taking off old games and everything. There were several other games in this list that were being, taken off of, the shelves.
So you don't think it's going free to play?
It should.
As far as, I think it should, because
I hope so.
I've
That's what I
played the
want.
game. It is not worth the $60 and $15 a month subscription.
I feel like
worth
that. I feel like
I
that.
think their player numbers agree with you.
Yeah, I've
Plummeting.
I bought it for the 60 and played it for I think 3 months after that, and it was fun. I'm not a huge MMO guy, but I mean it was fun, especially when you play with friends. If you play solo, maybe not so much. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's worth the 15 a month or the 60, the 1x60. I mean 60, it's like that's the average price for a game, so that doesn't bother me as much as a 15 a month subscription. But I think it might be going free to play because the same update that said that was just a thing for like everyone, like all other games.
They were also removing the time cards, prepaid time cards.
Yeah,
that's the biggest thing that points to me.
Yeah, that's the difference is because they had other games like Destiny and stuff on the list that had access stock, but when they took those games off the shelves, they still kept them within the store in the back, while the Elder Scrolls, they said they're completely getting rid of it. So
Yeah, the SKU has been pulled completely.
yeah, exactly.
It's not even in their machines anymore.
So then
And
Elder
you
Scrolls. Oh, go ahead.
And you think the fact that it goes free to play is also a sign that they're not gonna update the game anymore?
I don't think so. No. They'll
But
still
usually
update
it's
the
what it
game.
means, because if not, what I'm thinking is, okay, we're asking everybody to pay $15 a month, and the whole argument that's been every MMO studio's argument is we're gonna keep enough people on staff to keep your game fresh and going. So if they're going free to play, usually business-wise, it goes hand in hand with reducing staff and just kind of letting go of the
you just
game
have QA
gently.
and everybody else gets.
Well,
Yeah.
You're letting it go.
Exactly.
I think
yeah.
they still plan on making money on that, though. I think it'll probably end up something like a PlanetSide 2, where you can, pay to get perks, essentially.
Pay to win. Nice.
Yeah, well, hopefully not pay to win, but pay to look sweet, maybe.
Yeah,
like
League of
someone
Legends.
mentioned before, like League of Legends.
Yeah, or
Even
Dota,
giving
the
it off to
cosmetics
one
in
of the
Dota.
other developers that's used to maintaining this kind of a game.
Right.
I think
They're coming out with a new Elder Scrolls too, so you need to keep that in mind. They need more staff, probably.
But I
Well,
think
I think they're different. They're different developers though. It's ZeniMax Studios develops the Elder Scrolls Online, and Bethesda they just publish it. They don't work on the online.
right.
So
The
I don't
developers.
think that
Bethesda
may be an
doesn't have
issue.
The infrastructure set up for doing an MMO.
Yeah, that's why I don't think that's an issue for them.
Right.
But they're still supposed to have a big launch for that specific games because it hasn't come out on PlayStation or Xbox yet, and so that must mean there still is some juice in that team at ZeniMax. And that's why I don't think it's going to go free to play. So I think, and they're about to release a patch that's supposed to bring wonders to and completely refresh the game. From what I read quickly online, and I also think it's a game that took a lot of heat very fast, became massively unpopular very fast, and yet still had its value. Like you said, you still spend $15 for 3 months. I did exactly the same thing. And for what it's worth, it was 3 months that I enjoyed. It's a beautiful game. It's not challenging. It's not, but you do feel immersed, and it has its worth. I don't think it's gonna go anywhere though.
Yeah, exactly. For the months I paid
ZeniMax
for
doesn't have like experience running an MMO. I mean, they've done a lot of cool single player games, but not anything that requires long-term management and support. I really think that the IP would be better served being moved over to somebody that's used to doing something like that.
Like Blizzard.
I don't think Blizzard wants anything like that cannibalizing their own sales. I think Turbine would be a much better bet. Not that I'm a huge fan, but they do Lord of the Rings Online, Dungeons and Dragons Online, Neverwinter Nights. So
obviously they have a
like
good track record.
They have the infrastructure set up. They have all the pay cards and all that kind of stuff going. ZeniMax cards haven't been exactly trustworthy.
The question is, would Turbine won that game? I don't know.
Why wouldn't they? I mean, it's just another one to add to their hat. It's what they do.
Hey, and also to kind of tie in with the whole model, like for at least MMORPGs, just to kind of bring up like the whole subscription base versus a free-to-play with microtransactions. I mean, is that because like a lot of the games that you mentioned for Turbine, they're all free-to-play with microtransactions. Do you think it's actually still a viable system?
A server population.
Yeah, so like, would it be
unless you're huge, like WoW, you end up with ghost towns for servers if you try and charge. I mean, you fill the population up with all the free-to-play people, and those that want to pay and have the cool-looking gear can support the game through payments.
Yeah.
Well,
So
I mean, even with WoW, you're still running into ghost towns because garrison. Everyone's hiding in their garrison nowadays.
yeah, but like just to really ask is like, whether is a subscription still a viable option like for future MMOs? Because like, we had Wildstar, we have WoW, and we know Blizzard. That's the biggest ongoing MMORPG that still has a subscription base.
I think MMO lives through the MMO word is a unique word because it lives through waves of generation, and so you'll have this fantastic MMO for 10 years, and then the next MMO takes it over and runs it for 10 to 15 to maybe even 20 years. Who knows? The lifespan of a fantastic MMO games really dominates the market. It's complete monopoly, and for that specific company, yes, the membership fee completely validated. I mean, go talk to Blizzard and ask them if they're not happy with their monthly membership fee. It's the juice of it.
Battlefield Premium. That's essentially an MMO at this point. You just have a lot more control over how the character moves.
Yeah, speaking on franchises, Final Fantasy, I think they used their franchise because, I mean, they had the previous Final Fantasy 11, now they have 14, and there's a prosperous community in there, and there's a lot of people playing daily. I haven't been on it recently, but it's a very fair game, and it's been going with the subscription model ever since Final Fantasy 11. So.
And Final Fantasy 11 never went free to play. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, that's correct.
No, it's still paid.
Yeah,
Right,
and then
Square won't do
It's gone
that.
through quite a few server merges, but they've contracted the infrastructure to match the community size pretty well.
But here, that's probably a company that doesn't make much out of those games, especially at the end of Final Fantasy. At the end of Final Fantasy 11, they were probably just tying it financially, spending as much as they were getting with their monthly fees. And Final Fantasy 14 is a boom, but I also think it's a boom that's going to end up like Final Fantasy 11 in a couple of years. I don't think it's going to have the longevity that WoW had at all. You're still waiting for the next big MMO.
I don't think it requires the same kind of maintenance, though. I think there's a much smaller team just making sure the servers stay up versus Blizzard constantly developing new content and that kind of thing.
I don't know. Final Fantasy 14 has pretty active patches, no? Like pretty good patches.
They have a lot of bug fixes, but isn't most of their content community driven at this point? They have like that the mission builder thing that you can do.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Huh. That's pretty neat.
And then also just another big one, EVE Online, that's still going on strong with the subscription. So that's another one where subscription is still going well.
One of the few
Well, I
games
mean,
you can pay for your subscription by playing the game, though.
yeah.
And I mean, with EVE, I think the biggest reason that they're afloat, because I mean, I saw one news article, and it was an 8-hour battle. It was like 8 hours or, some ridiculous amount of hours battle where there was thousands of dollars worth of ship parts, ships blown up in this one battle. And I was watching this video because the developers dedicated this video to that battle just because of how ridiculous it was. And I saw that and I'm like, I want to play that.
Yeah, it was like, I think it was the third Great War. They had like 2 Great Wars before that, I think. That might have been the second or third Great War. It's like, it's really interesting to see.
Is that the dollar amount that was spent on equipment for that battle, or is that the valuation of equipment destroyed in the battle? Because there's
equipment destroyed.
Economy.
It was equipment destroyed.
Right. So a lot of that equipment that was valued at X amount of dollars was just kind of sewn together out of ether and cobwebs.
Yeah, I think it was all in-game economy, right? No real money.
Yeah.
Actually, I thought
people potentially would have paid for this had we charged them for it instead of just let them play for a whole lot of energy creds and pay for their subscription.
So is it just like digital currency?
To fabricate money in Eve, you have to spend a lot of time waiting.
Never really played those games. I mean, it's a long, ongoing game. Also talking about like with around like the subscription and free to play. Actually, another game that's actually is free to play, and we're actually sad to hear a story about is actually Blacklight Retribution. The company behind that, the studio, Zombie Studios, are actually I think the founder's looking to retire pretty soon here.
Yeah, I think they're looking to retire because they've been in business for about 20 years now. So they're essentially the 2 founders of the company, Zombie, have handed it off to Builder Box Studios, which are it's basically a bunch of the devs from Zombie that started up this new company. So they're keeping like Blacklight Retribution going because that's one of their big free to plays right now. They made a statement that they're not going to dismiss any of the maintenance and ongoing support for that game, whatever. So which is actually really good news because that game has pretty positive feedback as far as I've read. I've never actually played it yet, though.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny because what I think might end up happening with these developers is they might pull a Final Fantasy, because I don't think most people realize it, but Final Fantasy was actually supposed to, like the original one, was supposed to be that developer's last game. It was supposed to be his Final Fantasy, and then it blew up. And so I think that might end up happening here. I don't know.
Pretty neat.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm a little sad because I know Zombie Studios, they're pretty good also in their horror games. They created the Saw series as well as a recent one called Daylight, which is like a horror game that you walk around with using your phone and fighting off ghosts and everything. So it's kind of sad to see them kind of disappear from the gaming world. I mean, they did a lot of horror games. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with like Daylight or even played the Saw series and see if that got you any turning for. I think they were pretty big for their horror as well.
Yeah, they also did like a lot of the Spec Op games. I know that. I think they did some Rainbow Six stuff too.
Oh, wow.
And they had a Saw game also, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's pretty sad to say to hear them go away. And so we're, just sort of like a memorial to them. But we're glad that at least Bitterbox, our ex-member studios of Zombie, are still picking up the project. And let's see where Bitterbox moves forward from this on out. But also to move on to another topic this year is actually the Consumers Electronics Show of 2015, where that's the one-stop shop for all your high-tech, for everyday appliances, especially for us PC gamers, and just to hear about some of their highlights and big technology like devices and that's coming out of there.
Yeah, I saw the TV, what is it? The like slightly bent TV.
Yeah, the curves.
It was like really slightly curved TV. That one looks really cool. And then I believe it's LG. Correct me if I'm wrong. Has the 21:9 ratio TV, and that one's massive. And
that one.
Yeah, those ones were really cool.
It's still only like 1080 vertical though. It's not even 4K.
Yeah. So it's like I don't know how
could possibly drive 4K density at 21 by 9.
Yeah, and running that, I have a friend, Mike, who told me that there was a video he saw where the guy basically ran the same thing. He put 3 monitors to create the same effect as that one monitor, the 21 by 9 monitor, and he had to run like 3 graphics cards just to keep that going. It was like, so I don't know how I don't know how useful that'll be. I don't think anyone's really going to buy that anytime soon.
Did he have exhaust pipes of liquid nitrogen to cool it?
I mean, probably. I didn't see the video myself.
No, I think the 21 by 9 has a lot of practical use, especially for people that do like video editing and stuff like that, where they need to get all their stuff spread out across the screen.
If it's
definitely helps for that.
vertical resolution, I could see that. But at 1080, you're just gonna have 2/3 of the screen be your video, and those are going to be all.
Well, that's. I mean, I don't know if you use any video editing software. That's usually how it is. You've got, like in the top corner, you've got like the video that you're editing, and then you have your tracks down at the bottom, and you're messing with that kind of stuff.
That's why I do 16 to 10.
Yeah.
So that I have that extra bunch of pixels for the bar and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I guess I was thinking about it more in terms of like gaming, so that's what I was like.
I wouldn't mind a 21 by 9 for gaming, but it's got to be higher vertical resolution than 1080p.
Yeah, I agree, because then you can take your field of view out on a 21 by 9 and it's natural.
Yeah.
Well, so it definitely for gaming would be great, and I think for like video editing and stuff.
Well, I mean, a bigger screen is not always better. I remember there used to be a shop here called Infinite Arena, and what it was just a bunch of computers lined up around the wall, and it was $5 an hour, and you could play on these, and they're really nice computers too. And for some of them, they were connected to a projector which shot a 5-foot by 5-foot projection in front of you, and that was your monitor. And there was one. It was 5-foot by 18-foot, and it took 3 projectors, pointing at this kind of like curved wall. And it was great if you were trying to play an RTS because you could see the entire battlefield laid out before you. But
you could shoot at things before they could even see you.
Yeah. But the thing is, with like Call of Duty, it became really a problem because you were trying to see, all right, map here, I have this much ammo, we have this many points. Oh, dude.
Well, modern games that are properly designed have HUD adjustments and things like that, so that you can put them towards the center of the screen. And since iFinity and multi-display on NVIDIA have been out, there's most of the games out there, especially FPSs, have HUD adjustments, so you don't have everything way out at the corners on the other monitors.
And a 32-inch 21 by 9, everything's still within your view.
Yeah, it's not 18 feet away. It's not 18 feet across.
Yeah, now see, like having a 27-inch like 1080p monitor or 1920 by 1080, isn't really. I couldn't do that because I couldn't see everything at once. But a 21 by 9 32-inch, that'd be perfect.
Yeah, and also about coming out there as well in regards to like PC gaming, we also have the like Oculus Rift that's released a new, what's it called? The Crescent Bay prototype, where you can actually walk around with your VR headset and to kind of move around. You can actually walk through your house with it and actually emulate that all around you. There's also the Razer's OS VR, the hackable. The headset for like virtual reality for any developers, open source, anyone can mess with it, play with it, and it's going to be released to everyone. So that's also something that's cool. We're going to see in 2015 with a lot of developers coming in, and then I think Razer is trying to touch with also Android and PC gaming to kind of together as well. And I think
Forge TV.
Yep, the Forge TV. Yeah, and then what else are some pretty hot topics for the PC gaming?
Well, the Forge TV is also going to do kind of like the Steam in-home streaming thing, where you're going to be able to stream from your PC to your TV using the Razer Forge. But in addition to that, I don't know if anybody saw the Origin PC laptops that they were showing off there that had i7 desktop processors.
Oh yeah, I did see that actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're $1,800 monsters. I wouldn't want to carry it to school or anything, but
you would want to carry them to school.
SLI980Ms in them, along with an i7 like 4790K.
I love it when I bring my.
It's absurd.
I love it when I bring my laptop, my Alienware M14 XR2 to the workplace, And people look at my computer, it's like, how old is your computer? Like, yeah, it's from the 90s. and I look at them thinking they have no idea. No, don't know that.
Is it a pre-Dell merger, Alienware?
It's no, I bought it at Dell's website.
Oh, okay, so after the merger.
Yeah. I don't know, when did they merge?
2004, I think.
Yeah, it was unfortunate.
I was actually working with Alienware at the water cooling company that I was working at on
their shitty computers,
for the ALX, and then Dell bought them, and the contract just went completely sideways.
Oh wow!
It's they have a lot of
plastic fittings on everything.
Yeah, those computers are poorly put together for the price you pay. Honestly,
it's a Dell, right? It's not
Alienware.
Yeah, Dell Alienware.
I had to return two before my third one actually satisfied my purchase. The first one was the graphics card, the second one was the audio card, and then they sent some shady guy to my house to try and fix it. He opened it up, he lost some screws, he was totally messed up, he effed it up even more, I sent it back. So after I actually ended up buying the extended warranty, and I spent I think $500 on a 2-year warranty, 4-year warranty that basically I can slam my computer across the wall and they'll replace it. It's completely bulletproof because it runs the games well. You know, it does a good job at what it promises to do, but at the same time, it's so prone to failure. It's got so many technical issues.
Did they ever fix the overheating issue?
No, they don't, and it feels. That's why it doesn't feel. It doesn't feel well built. It feels like they tried to pack too much power into too small of a case, and we either don't have the technology for this type of machines to operate well, or they're cheaping out somewhere. I don't have the technical experience to know what the cause is.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that one. I'm looking at my M14 RX. It's this tiny little thing. It's got this little itty-bitty fan, and there's so much heat generated all around it that fan is doing nothing for me.
And that's what that's what the drunk guy that came to my house basically told me.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate to see it burn out so much.
It's bad when the IT guy is pissed off at his own machine.
Oh yeah, that's horrible. I
feel like that's pretty normal, actually.
Quality of life for gamers thing.
I don't know, like the Apple guys, they seem so happy with themselves. They're always smiling. Yeah, my machine is great.
That's because they drink the Kool-Aid, man.
That's because they make a lot of money doing what they do.
Money.
Today I went into the Apple store and I had a great time with all the people in the store. And I was thinking, F you. I hate your machine. Go to hell.
Try MSI or Asus next time for a laptop, at least gaming laptop. I have friends who use Asus gaming laptop or MSI, and they're like, that's the laptop that you want to get. It's like,
What about Razer?
I have a MSI G60, which is pretty awesome, or G70 rather.
Like the Blade, the Razer. I love Razer products. Actually, every peripheral that I have is Razer. So they have a really quality product.
The only thing I like about Razer is the green color that they use on all their products. The website. It's a great green.
Whatever color you like.
I think it's mid-range stuff, and when you try and boost it, often just the technology isn't there. I feel.
I think they have the best mice by far.
Oh, their mice! Yeah, their mice are really good.
Mice and keyboard.
And my Kraken's, a 7.1 headset. It's got the only thing I don't like about it is it's not wireless.
And I don't like the fact that it hurts your ears when you keep them too long because it doesn't capture the entire ear. That's
mine does, and you probably see me adjust it, but that's just so I can hear what's going on out there because they're noise canceling. But I wanted to go with like Mike's headphones. Those are the Vengeance, correct?
What, mine?
Corsair.
Yeah, your headphones.
Oh yeah, actually this is Logitech, the G430.
Okay, because they look like the Corsair Vengeance headsets. That's what I originally wanted.
If you can afford it, I highly recommend the Astro A40.
I think that $300 for a pair of headphones is ridiculous.
It's justified when you play Diablo.
But
I think anything with a microphone attached to it is probably not the best thing.
When you,
sound quality.
I have Turtle Beach PX22s.
Yeah, because my microphone is separate from my headset. My headset, I have a Sennheiser 580, I believe, and then for my microphone, it's a $15 Sony PS3 microphone. Yeah. I'm like, when I play games, that's what gets the job done. And then sometimes I'll put on the if I want to like get immersed in a game, I'll put on my Sennheisers for the sound, and then I'll move my mic like this, and then talk like that. And then that's what I just jerry rig that.
Yeah, but
in defense, Xbox USB Rock Band microphone for a long time.
Yeah.
Oh, I actually used to do some music recording with that Rock Band mic because I couldn't afford a good one, and I was like, hey, I got all these tools, and it's so much higher quality.
Used for like $10.
Nice.
Yeah.
So
the quality is great.
I mean, this headset's only $25. I think he's doing a pretty decent job for what it's supposed to do.
Well, I laid down $100 for the Razer one, but
Mike, sorry, but before we close the show, there's a piece of news that we haven't touched on, and I think is quite interesting. And if you can just talk a little bit about the fact that a bunch of players didn't get paid in this competition.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. If you know the Hearthstone game series, East Asia does host a lot of the professional games out there, and they've had plenty of U.S., European members playing there, and there's actually a lot of debacle with their market and the fact that the payouts aren't actually arriving on time with them.
Yeah, that is a very common, unfortunately. At least it sounds like a common. I don't want to say.
It's pretty common in esports.
Yeah. Then it is a common issue in esports where they'll go to a tournament, play, do their job at the tournament. Whatever prize they win, they'll get that like way later. Like players are waiting for that, and then that's really unfortunate because that's how they pay their bills. So it's a real bad problem.
Just had to get a whole bunch of different Counter-Strike teams together to do basically a strike against a bunch of the tournaments that haven't been paying them from North America tournaments.
And if you dig into the stories of this specific competition, a bunch of people actually earned just enough that they could fly back with the money out of China into the United States. But once you reach this specific cap, then it's illegal for you to take that money out of the country. This is Chinese policy.
Yeah, because a lot of the tournaments...
so you end up with those crazy side stories if you dig into further articles about some guys who first took their money to Korea and then flew back to the United States. And to me, it's a good sign. To me, it's a good sign because it just shows that this is happening and we don't even have the infrastructure for it.
This has been figured out long time ago in professional boxing.
I don't buy
money in escrow before the tournament, and then it's out of the organizer's hands. At that point, it just comes out of escrow to whoever wins.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's that you don't even have to go into boxing. I mean, a wire transfer is a wire transfer. It takes a single day internationally across the nations.
Wire transfer the winner money before you know who the winner is.
But they do. I mean,
it's put it in escrow so that after the fact, once they've determined who the winner is, that person can then cash in from there.
Right. I smelled a lot of bullshit personally.
Yeah, the problem is China, honestly.
Yeah, I smell a lot of bullshit here.
One, it's a lot of the rules that the Chinese, the banking and the whole money thing on that, and then also specifically with the Hearthstone thing that happened recently, or that's brought up recently. With that specifically, some of the tournaments are paying hard cash. They're not wiring it. They're just boom hard cash, and then that's why it's hard for them to get out of the country with it, because China has the policy where you can't just load a bunch of cash into like a duffel bag and then walk out the country with it. Which it does make sense because
I'm not sure I want to be anywhere in the world with a whole lot of people watching me receive a giant bag.
Yeah, they're just like, here's your money. All right, see you bye. Walk out that door. Everyone knows you got
PayPal
that.
information. You hold on to that.
Yeah.
I'd like to make it home alive.
The thing that shocks me the most is the fact that the company behind this little scandal is basically arguing that it's either the guy who won the money who's not capable enough to send his routing information to China, or it's the Chinese banking system. And either answer, I think, is total BS, because, hold on, China knows a little something or two about the international economy and how to be efficient, or else they wouldn't be growing at 2 digits number a year.
Yeah, China
it's
is
absurd. Like, China is effective as it can be business-wise, and we all know that. And on the user end, it's scandalous to basically call gamers idiots, not even capable of filling out a document and saying, "Give me my $30,000." I guarantee you, PC gamers are asking for their $30,000, and they're filling out.
Well, the ESCA had to remind some teams recently that they hadn't filled out their paperwork to get their prize money.
No, yeah,
I mean, that's absurd.
Some teams didn't. Yeah, some teams did not. In all honesty, some teams didn't do that, but
it's probably 6 of one and half dozen of the other. You know.
Yeah, some
problems on both sides.
Some teams,
I'm willing to bet,
players did do that, and they still didn't get the money. So
I'm willing to bet that it's just that 1 or 2 of them didn't do it, and then they were like exaggerating over it just so that they can say, "Oh, well, they're not filling out their information. We don't have to pay them."
It's that one guy who didn't do it, and they made it basically their excuse.
Yeah, so that's pretty unfortunate for that to happen, and I hope it works out.
Another thing we have to overcome to get esports to be taken seriously.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm thinking at the same time it sucks, but it's also a positive news. It's basically this is happening, and we're like the society is not even ready for it. We haven't set the financial structure for this type of sport phenomenon to happen. Because it's a sport phenomenon. Some guy, we almost talked about it at some show, I think 2 weeks ago. Some guy in the industry said esports should be in a selection in the Olympics.
It was a WoW developer,
I don't know about the Olympics, but we do need an international governing body of some
kind. Right, I think it was just making a statement.
There is actually an international esports organization, but I mean, esports is
listens to them though.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's still becoming huge. Just I think about it's either as early as 2 years ago, it may be even less than that. Just the United States just recognized esports players as professional athletes. So it's still like we're still making progress, but it's going to take a while.
How far do you think it's going to go?
I mean, they started making teams at college campuses for like League of Legends, like
scholarships. Scholarships
and stuff like that.
Yeah, but I mean that's what's happening today. What's going to be the state of this esports thing 10 years from now, 20 years from now?
I think it's going to be taken as a legitimate sport. I think because it's the bigger it's going to get, the more it's going to be taken seriously by. It's because it's already taken seriously by certain people, but it's going to be more taken seriously by as a society as a whole and by governments and things like that.
As the ad dollars and the prize money get larger, more
that's the money.
Take notice and take it more seriously.
Exactly. I think it's the money. It's totally a money thing because once the TI4 last year for Dota 2 hit 10 million, everyone started talking about it. The whole media started covering it. Why? It's because they have the money to back up like what they're doing.
But to be the devil's advocate, because I kind of agree with you, but I still want to be the devil's advocate. You're looking at a game like FIFA, right? The FIFA World Cup. And this is something that the final of the event draws 1 billion people. Like 1 billion people watch the game. I don't know the numbers behind the Super Bowl, but they're in the hundreds of millions, I'm sure. NASCAR, don't even talk about it. I don't think it's going to take a while even if it's massively popular today within our community, it's going to take a while for the community to grow into such large numbers. And is that even feasible?
Absolutely.
Well, I think part of the problem is that people nowadays still aren't even accepting video games as an art form, which
that's
it is.
A North American thing.
Well,
I mean, it's kind of right. Justin.
If you're in Northern Europe and you look at your parents and say, I want to play video games professionally for a living, they say, okay, what game do you want to play?
Yeah, other cultures.
Here, they're like, oh, you want to be a cop or a fireman.
Yeah, other societies and cultures value the gaming
Seriously?
a lot. Yeah, I mean, as a career, in Europe, it's taken more seriously than the United States, and especially in South Korea and China.
Career, whereas here, you're viewed as a joke and a nerd.
Yeah, out of the world, I would probably say United States is one of the lowest places because Europe is more, and then China and South Korea are definitely the top ones when it comes to making that a professional career and taken seriously by other
yeah,
sports.
but
Seriously enough to
here's
assign you a unique ID.
Yeah.
Here's another thing, though. I mean, as soon as the U.S. really, and like its society too, really starts taking this gaming seriously, Americans by nature are extremely competitive. I mean, a cool story is the international boat race. I remember they had won like every year for so many years that the trophy was literally just bolted down to a table in a bar in New York, until one year New Zealand won, and in the interview with the team, the New Zealand team said, we're not going to win next year. By next year, they will have a better design that will beat us again. And so we'll have the trophy this year, but we won't have it next year because of just how competitive Americans are. And so I guess the moral of the story is, by the time it's finally accepted,
But to me, it's not even a matter of competition. It's the fact that you're not looking at a specific sport. Yes, we call it esports. How many people can you have that truly understand the degree of finesse and just professionalism that these players have, unless you've really struggled yourself in playing League of Legends? So you might be a hardcore video gamers, but you might still not appreciate watching League of Legends because you never got into that specific game. I guess what I'm trying to say is you bring it back to the esports scene phenomenon, and I'm very optimistic that this is something that's going to keep happening and growing. At the same time, I doubt that it can become as big as people want it to be within the community, because it is very much a segmented movement in the sense that it is based on the specific game you enjoy. And that can forever will have a limited crowd of a limited fan base.
I don't think that'll be so much of a problem, thanks to YouTube and other social media sharing websites where you've got people playing these games and recording them and racking up a bunch of viewers. So I'm not so sure that that will necessarily be an issue.
And also the push moving away from like television. Sorry,
I mean, I could be completely wrong. I could be completely wrong in the sense that you're not going to face 10 million people. You're not going to look at 10 million people playing a game 10 years from now. You're going to look at 100 million people liking a game, and these are real numbers that nobody's surprised at. Just sold 100 million copies. I can see that happening 10, 20, 50 years from now. Just games becoming massively popular and overtaking any form of entertainment, like from a business standpoint. So in that aspect,
the volatility of each new game that comes onto the scene. Games don't typically have a long shelf life for, this online game is going to be massively popular. StarCraft is really the only one that's handled that kind of longevity.
Yeah, because how long has Counter-Strike been in the esports?
But esports games do.
Yeah, esports games, they go...
Counter-Strike is a great example at well over 15 years now. But Quake, I think, is an even better example.
Yeah,
there's still big money being played for Quake Live tournaments.
Yeah,
and that's like over 20 years that Quake has been played competitively.
Wow.
Just Quake has been played.
Yeah, and then Dota 2
but still in small numbers. Not enough for a company like ESPN to truly profit from it to the extent that they will make it their center base in everything they do.
I mean, at least when it comes to ESPN, I don't think they'll make it their center base, because their center base is like going to be...
Is ESPN really the right place for esports?
Well,
no, of course not. Of course not.
ESPN has history covering sports, or has history covering like MLG tournaments and like Halo and stuff.
Yeah, ESPN has actually covered...
The question, is ESPN really the place
No, you're right.
esports on
TV? But they have covered the Dota 2 International 4 tournament, which a lot of people got mad about because they're like, it's esports is not a real sport, things like that. But I believe, if I'm correct, the whoever was in charge of making that decision at ESPN to allow the TI4 for Dota 2 be covered on ESPN on TV, he said that he was like, I could totally see ESPN doing it again. He had a positive experience doing that, so it's like, it's totally possible, but I think
it's going to be Twitch or something similar to it. That's going to be where people watch esports.
Yeah, I still agree.
Well, I mean,
I want to tie in.
ESPN is still not.
At the end of the day, Justin, we'll have to see when we're like 87 years old and when we're shooting episode number 3457 of the All Members Official Happy Noobs podcast. We'll look back at episode number 5.
So when I'm 87 or when the rest of you are 87?
95, 96.
Yeah, that's pretty long. Yeah, just a time. I'm actually sort of side on Fred with the idea that games has to be constantly released out. Like, yeah, Quake is long lasting, but can it be long enough? Is there a game staple enough that it can be a traditional game you play every year, like Olympics? You know your core lineups.
Counter-Strike.
I mean, yeah, but it has to be updated so often. Like, how long can you update a game for 20 years and have CS:GO .2051 after 2,000 copies beforehand, before a company or publisher moves on?
How often does soccer change?
How often does like NBA change? I mean, NFL, like it's all the same. Every year they have some like slight changes to the rules, but the basic rules are all the same.
NFL because of all the changes.
Philosophers will learn more and more about less and less until they know everything about nothing or nothing about everything. We can talk about this for hours, but the end result at the end of the day is like Fred said, when we're 87 years old, we're still going to be talking about it.
Yeah. So until then, we're going to wrap this up now. This is a great conversation. I want to thank you all for tuning in. Just to kind of give a shout out to some of the other people that were talking with us. We also had Fred, we had Cage, Killer B-Son, and Uber Trooper here chatting in with us through Mumble as well. Like I said, this wraps up episode 5. Come check us out on opnoobs.com. We're actually a site. We're looking for members. We're a community of gamers, and we want to actually draw your attention. Feel free to follow us. We even have a Reddit, so you can go to reddit.com /r/opnoobs to keep in touch with the community. And feel free to just keep supporting us. And if you want, join the team, drop in an application. Otherwise, we thank you all for tuning in. And just if you keep liking what you see, just keep coming around, and that's enough to get us going. So we'll thank you today, and I'll see you next week.
Thanks, everybody.
See you guys.
Take it easy.
Thank you.
See y'all.